All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Flight and Fishbowl on audience development with some experience reports from the smARTplaces project. My name is Britta Lerch from the Dortmunder U. I'm the project coordinator and we are situated at the leading organization in Dortmund. So before we will start with the individual experience reports from the project partners, I would like to briefly introduce you to the project itself, how we work, what our mindsets are, and actually what also we think makes us a little bit unique. So let's start with a very short cut to the facts of the project. You already learned this morning who was attending from the welcome talk and the first panel that we are a large-scale cooperation project actually running for 4 years, co-funded by the Creative Europe program of the European Union. We are focusing on the cultural sub-programs objectives, mainly audience development, capacity building in digitization, and together with training and education. The project is delivered by 8 cultural institutions from 8 European countries, 2 research and technology partners, as well as quite a range of strategic partners and supporters throughout Europe. So the initial question surely is, why did we come together to turn into smARTplaces? Well, the initial thought was we had some quite ambitious ideas. And funnily, a lot of our partners had the same ideas or similar ideas. So we came together in 2014 and started exchanging our ideas and also coming up with actually defining them. So what were they? First of all, our goal was to set up a project that develops long-term audience development strategies via digital tools within a very close-knitted European cultural network, with the main goal actually to transform our institutions into linked, dialogic, participatory, cultural places that are transcending geographically and social boundaries by actually closing the gap between the virtual world and the physical places themselves. And also to turn them into interactive spaces that experiment with new forms of accessibility, communication, and mediation. So, yes, so we had the ideas, we all had these in common, but we also faced some similar challenges here. Meaning that all of us agreed that we are not really sure on actually how to set up long-term strategies. We all faced limited resources for making really use of the digital possibilities. Speaking of manpower, a lack of manpower, a lack of skills actually, how to deal with digital tools in our everyday work. Also, surely a lack of budget when it comes to publicly funded museums. And also we realized the lack of knowledge actually when it comes to audience data. Who are we talking to? What are their needs? What qualitative and what quantitative data do we have to actually deduct strategies from? And also a very big challenge we saw was that the speed of digital innovations actually goes a little bit against our aim for sustainability when we work. So these were the initial topics and challenges we started to discuss. And with these challenges in mind, we actually went on to ask us a question and find answers to it. How do we actually have to proceed from now on to turn cultural spaces into smARTplaces? So what we quickly discovered in the planning process was that every institution is different. Even if we have the same goals, ideas, and challenges, we have a different identity. There are varying offers. We have local influences, local codependencies with different stakeholders that all lead to minor changes in the strategic and goals we have for our institutions. So we quickly actually had to come to the realization that anticipating change within the institution and embracing new technologies can never be reached by following a linear traditional process and trying to adopt solutions one-to-one to each institution equally. So we had to think more in individual ways, and we realized also that so there can't be just one right solution. There can't be one best single way to follow in our project, because there will not be standardized global answers or a fixed set of measures we could come up with that fit the local needs. So as you see, a lot of challenges, a lot of thoughts went into our project at first. So what did we come up with then? With this in mind, we agreed on a basic blueprint for our project that follows a multidimensional approach that allows us for an integrated implementation throughout 5 phases. This also includes, for example, a work program that is very diverse and very complex. So please apologize, I can't go into detail into all activities that are planned for the 4 years, but just to highlight the areas we are touching here. One part, most important part as well, is exploring and testing new approaches and digital tools, their effectiveness, the most important, their acceptance by the audiences in 17 joint and 40 local activities. Some of these activities are already existing, and they will be enriched by adding a digital dimension to it. But we also are implementing new activities. Just to name one, we just launched our live dialogue series, The Work of Art, which just happened to be 2 weeks ago, and was a really great success. There will be in total 8 editions following until 2020, which are live streamed and where we bring artists, curators, museums, professionals, and the audience via Facebook Live into contact and into dialogue. The second area of activity is actually how to experiment with new ways of transnational and also interdisciplinary collaborations. New forms of participation, co-creation, art education. So a full range of very diverse measures we are taking. And also, as it comes from our focus from the project itself, we really strongly focus on activities that initiate change management in the institution. We deem them really essential to support the required change of attitude that is necessary towards digital means, and still is in a lot of ways. So in more than 10 workshops, we offer a variety of virtual learning experience for staff and audience members, ranging from change management workshops, hands-on trainings in storytelling techniques, all the way down to how do we actually manage content, which is an essential part, as we learned this morning from the panel as well. So in addition, yes, we are a digital project, so surely a big part of our work program also is testing and agile development and re-evaluation of more than 10 digital tools. This includes, for example, the smARTplaces app that will be launched this summer, and that will offer, among augmented reality experiences, a new approach to adaptive, non-linear storytelling in a curated, contextualized story worlds, and also include gamification elements. So we're testing, we're seeing, okay, how is it accepted, and then give us a time in the next years to actually also include updates. I think this is something new, because we're not producing one app and then put it in the App Store and then never touch it again, and then forget to delete it in 2030 or something. So also in addition to the app, we have social media and content asset management systems we're touching, digital visitor services, and a great focus is on actually how to easily facilitate new technologies like AR or also live streaming solutions. All this will be accompanied by the ongoing scientific monitoring and evaluation by the BCU. So with this, I would actually like to come to an even more important part of our project. Why are we doing this? And in answering these questions, I will also tell you what makes smARTplaces special in our eyes. The first thing is as I just explained to you, we are following a very holistic approach. We allowed us to take the necessary time for the planning and the initial evaluation. We also had to be patient. We needed the steps and the time to actually to redefine our initial goals and redefine what we wanted in the first place. So then also the second part and the second uniqueness is actually that we, with this project, kicked off change. In our institution, we are now halfway into the project, and we can already see tangible and visible results of how change actually got embraced within different departments, how spillover effects are becoming visible in the institutions just because the institution takes part in a European network and a European project. Then yeah, one benefit as well is the network itself. We have fine arts museums taking part in our project. We have contemporary museums. We have multi-purpose spaces. We have the traditional, more traditional museums. And so this diversity of our partners is not only inspiring for us, but also gives everyone equal opportunities to profit from and to utilize the synergies that are given by this project. And the fourth part is that the think big, act small element in here. We learn from each other. Everyone has the will to learn from and with each other. And it's very inspiring to see the different international perspectives on a topic and to actually get into an exchange with each other. So we're able to profit from the knowledge and experiences the other partners have already made in different sub-projects. And we will later on see how these got put into actions with some of the experience reports. And then we have a very important aspect of our project, which is the project offers a safe test space, meaning here it's a little bit risk-free, which we're really, really happy about because you don't have to individually invest in the developing, for example, of an app and then later realize that there is no acceptance by the audiences. We can collectively work together and find out what actually does make sense, what technology can actually, on a long, sustainable way, be maintained by the museums, even maybe beyond 2020. So what is therefore embraced by all of our partners is a belief that we see the technology itself only as an enabler. Technology, from our point of view, can never be the leader of change. And it can never be the determining factor for innovation and culture. Because it will continue to change rapidly, and so instead of focusing on what is possible technically, we want to focus on building the skills and infrastructure that enable all our colleagues to more easily and more confidently adjust to the coming innovations. And as already mentioned, I think by Jasmine earlier in the panel, we also want to not focus on creating best practice, but actually to focus on good local practice that thrives from the European inspiration and experiences, but creates sustainability on a local level and also beyond the end of the project. But most important, I believe, for everyone involved in this project, and we're talking here all together more than 60 people from 10 different institutions, is actually the teamwork. Everyone is responsible for a different work package, for different sub-projects. So this is actually a very good trust-building measure, and to build trust and a good cooperation that takes time. And so with this time that we are giving ourselves, we actually establish a culture of sharing, co-working, and we're really making sure to act transparent within our group, and the more we become visible also with other cultural professionals who are dealing with the same similar projects, similar challenges, and get into a more continuous exchange about these topics. And not to forget, it's a really great pleasure and a lot of fun to just work with these great institutions and the great people involved. So thank you, by the way. So yes, concluding, our biggest success stories with smart places until 2020, they won't be identify it solely by looking at measurable and quantified key outputs at the end. Surely that's highly relevant for us, for our co-funders, and we're really grateful to have received this opportunity to follow on this path for 4 long years and find out what's really working for us. But for the institutions and people involved in this project, the actual learning experience will be, we have gained in this time. This will be our biggest asset, and this will be our most important indicator for success at the end. So with this, short introduction to our project spirit, I would like to open up the stage for my colleagues and the slides, so that you can actually get a more practical insight in what we're doing in our project.